Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that's probably on a lot of people's minds, fitness. But we're not just doing a quick skim of exercise tips here. You've told us you're keen on understanding, the bigger picture of well-being. And the info we've gathered really digs into that, how our routines, how we fuel our bodies, and even our mental state, how it all connects. Think of this as your direct route to figuring out a fitness journey that actually works for you.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is that intricate dance between these things, the physical activity, the nutrition, and, well, our mental landscape. Our goal today is basically to shed light on these connections for you. We're drawing on some really insightful material to give a richer, more joined-up understanding of what goes into feeling, your absolute best.
Exactly. So let's lay it out. We've looked at resources that break down how to build a solid fitness routine. Covers everything from getting your heart rate up to the importance of recovery, which often gets overlooked. Then we'll look at the fuel, right? The fundamental principles of nutrition that works. And finally, we're getting into something that might not always be top of mind with fitness. Surprisingly big role of mindfulness. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's start with what most people think of first. Building that fitness routine. What were some of your first thoughts looking at the material on this?
Well, one thing that really jumped out was this constant message that a well-rounded routine isn't just one thing. It's this mix, like cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and working on flexibility.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Getting the heart going, building muscle, keeping mobile. But what I found really interesting was the strong focus on needing scheduled rest days and active recovery, too. It's like pushing hard is key, but so is planning that time for your body to, recuperate.
That's such a critical point. Rest isn't just doing nothing. It's actually a vital period for repair and rebuilding inside the body. And active recovery, doing some gentle movement or stretching that can actually speed up healing and get blood flowing better to tired muscles. It's all part of this cycle, really, that leads to getting stronger and fitter.
Right. And speaking of getting fitter, one workout structure they highlighted was combining high-intensity interval training, HIIT, yeah, and strength training. It was presented as like a really time-efficient way to boost overall fitness and burn more calories. For someone like you who likes to get info efficiently and see real progress, that efficiency angle is probably quite appealing.
It is, definitely. HIT, with those short, intense bursts, then quick recovery periods, gives a big bang for your buck time-wise. And when you pair that with strength training, you're not just burning calories during the workout. You're also building and keeping that lean muscle, which is so important for your metabolism long-term. Interestingly, some studies even suggest the metabolic boost after HIT can be pretty significant, sometimes even more than you'd get from longer, slower cardio.
Okay, so we get the building blocks of a routine. But then there's the million-dollar question. How do you actually stick with it? Keep that motivation going? The resources we saw had some really practical ideas here. Setting goals was a big one. But not just vague goals like get healthier.
Right.
More specific, achievable things like be able to walk X distance comfortably or lift Y amount more weight. Makes the target feel real,
Precisely. Vague goals are hard to track. They can feel overwhelming. This idea of setting SMART goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound gives you a much clearer path. And the suggestion about finding a workout buddy, that really taps into the power of social support. Just knowing someone else is relying on you can be a huge motivator on those days when you're just not feeling it.
That's so true. A bit of positive peer pressure, right? It works. Another key thing was tracking your progress somehow. It's about seeing real proof that what you're doing is actually making a difference, tangible feedback. And finally, something I think is crucial for staying engaged long-term, mixing things up. Variety in your routine. Apparently, this helps stop you hitting a plateau, progress-wise, and it also just keeps things from getting, boring.
Absolutely. If you do the same thing over and over, your body just adapts. You might stop seeing improvements at the same rate. Plus, trying different activities challenges different muscles, stimulates your body in new ways. Good for the mind, too.
All right, so we've covered the exercise part, but you know the saying, you can't outtrain a bad diet. So let's shift gears to the absolutely critical role nutrition plays in all this. What were the main principles that came through in the materials?
Well, the central idea, again and again, was fueling your body with nutrient-dense foods. It's about understanding that the quality of your calories matters just as much as the quantity, maybe even more. You need that full range of vitamins, minerals, macros to support energy, help muscles recover, keep you healthy overall. Hydration was another big one. Non-negotiable, really. Often overlooked, but being properly hydrated is essential for, pretty much everything your body does. Performance, even your mood. And timing your meals and snacks around workouts strategically also seemed key for energy during and recovery after. When we say nutrient-dense, we generally mean things like colorful fruits, veggies, lean proteins, whole grains, foods packed with goodness relative to their calories.
That makes total sense, giving your body the right stuff at the right times. One strategy they highlighted as really effective for this was meal planning and prep. For someone who likes being informed but wants to avoid feeling, swamped by choices, that sounds super practical.
It really is. If you plan your meals ahead, you're just much more likely to make healthy choices. It helps you resist grabbing less healthy, convenient stuff when you're suddenly starving and short on time. Might take a bit of planning up front, yeah,
Mm.
but it can save time later and definitely steers you towards better habits.
Definitely sounds like a proactive move. Now, flipping the coin, what about the common mistakes? The pitfalls people run into with nutrition and fitness goals.
Several things stood out. Not getting enough protein was a big one, especially if you're doing strength training, since protein is vital for muscle repair and growth. We mentioned hydration already, but it's worth saying again, it's so important. And then there's a common issue of relying too much on processed foods. They often lack the good stuff your body needs and can be loaded with things you don't want: unhealthy fats, added sugars, tons of salt. The sources also really warned against fad diets, those quick fixes. They emphasize building sustainable, long-term eating habits instead. That's what really works.
Yeah, those quick fixes usually just lead back to square one, don't they? Really highlights the value of building those habits slowly. Okay, so we've hit the physical stuff, exercise, nutrition. Now, let's explore an area that might seem less directly tied to getting physically fit, but has this surprisingly deep impact. Mindfulness, what's the connection there? How does that fit in?
What's truly fascinating, I think, is just how much our mental state impacts our physical health and our ability to actually stick to a fitness plan. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of the present moment, right? And it helps reduce stress. That creates this powerful positive cycle. Less stress usually means you're better able to make healthy choices: food, exercise, you have more mental bandwidth for your goals. Better mental clarity can also help you focus during workouts, be more present, more motivated. Ultimately, it just contributes to feeling better overall, which is really the foundation for sticking with fitness long term. For instance, chronic stress, that can raise cortisol levels, and that hormone can actually slow down muscle recovery and even mess with your food cravings.
Wow, that makes so much sense. It's like tackling a layer underneath everything else that supports it all. The resources we looked at mentioned specific mindfulness practices like meditation and yoga as being really helpful. We often think of yoga just physically, but that strong focus on mindful movement and breathing is a huge part of its benefit, isn't it?
Exactly. Both meditation and yoga encourage you to tune into the present. They help you build a deeper connection with your body, your thoughts. And that kind of self-awareness can be incredibly useful when you're making conscious choices about exercise and what you eat.
And for anyone listening who might be thinking, mindfulness sounds a bit out there, the experts offered a really simple starting point. Just deep breathing exercises. Seems like something anyone can do, anywhere, right? For quick stress relief and better focus.
Absolutely. Deep breathing is remarkably effective and so simple. It can directly calm your nervous system, shifting you from feeling stressed to feeling more relaxed. Plus, it sharpens your focus. It's a fantastic way to just ground yourself in the moment.
So practically speaking, how can someone weave mindfulness into their whole fitness approach? The advice was basically start small, be patient. You don't need to suddenly become a meditation guru overnight. Consistency is key. Even if it's just a few mindful minutes each day, that's way more valuable. And finding a practice that actually clicks with you personally with stress too. Not every technique works for everyone, right?
That personalization part is crucial. It's about finding what fits your life, what you genuinely find helpful and can stick with. And the final point really tied it all together, seeing self-care, relaxation, and proper recovery as essential parts of the fitness journey. It's not just about pushing yourself all the time, it's finding that balance between effort and restoration.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up for you. We've really dug into how a successful, lasting fitness journey isn't just about the workouts. It's this whole interconnected system, where your exercise routine, how you nourish your body, and your mental and emotional state all play these vital, linked roles. It's about creating that synergy activities that challenge your heart, build strength, support flexibility, but also making sure you give your body time to rest and recover properly. It's about consciously picking nutrient-rich foods, staying hydrated, thinking about when and what you eat to fuel yourself. And it's about using mindfulness to handle stress, sharpen focus, and just boost your overall well-being. These aren't separate boxes. They all work together as one whole thing.
Precisely. And when you think about it more broadly, It's clear that sustainable fitness isn't about chasing trends or doing extreme things. It's about cultivating a holistic lifestyle that puts your physical and mental health first for the long run.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Given this interconnectedness, we've just explored how your physical activity shapes your nutritional needs and how your mental state affects both your motivation and your choices. What's maybe one small, mindful adjustment you could consciously make part of your daily routine this week? Something that might just create a positive ripple effect across your whole fitness and well-being. Just one small thing. What could that be?
That really prompts some important reflection, doesn't it, for everyone? How can you take these connected ideas and actually turn them into practical steps? Steps that make sense and are sustainable for you in your life. It's not about chasing some impossible perfection. It's more about embracing that journey of continuous progress and finding what really resonates with your own needs and situation.